Good morning and welcome back. This is day 2 and hopefully day 2 of 2 on this job, clearing these privets and everything. I got to run down this row here, going over there and rip out all these trees along the fence line. There's not many of them, but today is burn day. It's been a little bit since we were here because there's been this statewide burn ban, and it's finally lifted. It's finally gone. So we have a good amount to burn. It's pretty much all just brush. So I'm just gonna try to put it all in one big pile, light it, some brush over here, and then I gotta go through the woods over there, and there's a row that runs all the way along here on the back side of this brush that he wants cleared as well. So I kind of sort through the trash a little bit here, and there's a hole here. I'm gonna backfill that. I'll just start the fire on this right here. But yep, I'm probably gonna be a little out of sorts today because the GoPro and the mounts that I usually use, unfortunately, we did a mulching job yesterday, and I mounted the GoPro on the roof of the skid steer and went to check on it, and it was gone and we could not find it. So I'm gonna go back over to that job with a metal detector and see if I can find it. I didn't see pieces of it everywhere, so I'm hoping that I didn't mulch it. I would imagine that I possibly at least have crushed it, but maybe the SD card is still good because I obviously lost all the footage from that job. But let's get rolling on this one, see if we can get a fire going. Well, I got a burn pile stacked up, and there's actually an old oil drum from a house that I think was here for their oil burner furnace, and there's some nasty old fuel in there, so kind of makes sense, doesn't it? It's got to be drained out anyway so we can get this barrel out of here. I can't really mount the GoPro anywhere in here because I don't have a mount for it. I lost all my stuff to the mulching accident, but I'm trying to figure out where I can mount this GoPro. Well, the fire's rolling. Quite literally rolling, I guess. The wind is blowing straight out that way. Unfortunately, that's where houses are across the street, so I would be surprised if either they didn't come over or they called the fire department. But we got a permit, so it's all got to go somewhere. The smoke's kind of calming down. We just started up with all that fuel, and in the beginning, before it gets a lot of heat, a lot of smoke, and there's not a lot of heat to lift the smoke up. So once it gets real hot, the radiating heat will lift up that smoke and hopefully get it up over the house. I don't know if you can see the house off in the distance, but yeah, it should be all right. We have water on site too, so I don't think it will spread, but if it does, we can put it out. Well, I think I found a spot that will work for the GoPro. Just mount it upside down on the windshield and fix it. But as for the fire, I think I'm just gonna let it burn out. Honestly, it's so smoky, and the wind's blowing in the right direction, but it's just yeah, I think I'm gonna let it burn out. I'm gonna finish all my clearing here today and let the fire. I'm not gonna load it up again. I haven't had any issues with the neighbors, but also don't want to. I just checked the wind report, and apparently it's supposed to get even windier today. Looking for. pushing down this fence line and get into the next open clearing area that we're working at. Fence line. Thomas just radioed that he's stuck. So, of course I didn't get through. Now I gotta back up through my brush piles. And go rescue Thomas. Probably could push himself out with the grapple if he knew what he was doing, but I don't feel like getting out and doing it for him. Maybe, I don't know. It looks like he's pretty in there. There's a hole right here that we were going to fill in. That's all full of water and stuff, but I didn't realize it was all wet through here.
See how saturated the ground is with even any water that we provide.
Pile's a lot smaller now. We got a good amount of brush. All this right here needs to be burnt down, and man, I wish I could just load it on there, but this wind is not letting up. It's actually getting worse, so I'm just gonna let this thing kind of smolder out, and have to come back another day and start it up. The good thing is it's privets. It's really all just brush. So, you know, it will burn down quickly, And we should have everything else on the property done today except for the burning, so I'll go finish cleaning up along that fence line. Just want to push this fire around and try to get this stuff to actually burn. Well, I got the fence line cleared all the way through. Now we are on the other side of that brush, and we are clearing from about right where my tracks are over to where it opens and all the way down to, there's some power lines down there. But I might actually switch this back to mulching this with not being able to burn because of the wind. And this is all brush. I don't think there's any trash in here. I'm gonna kind of lightly go through it, rip some stuff apart, see if I don't find any trash, and if I don't, I think I'm just gonna mulch everything in here. If this land is anything like the rest of the land here, though, this place will be full of trash. I'm not seeing anything yet.
about that. I'm really not seeing any trash though, so I think we are going to bring the mulcher over here and mulch all of this rather than ripping everything up with the excavator and dragging it around and burning it. Looks like the pad is right there. Yep. Need to avoid that. I think he's going to use that for run-in or something with the horses, or put a barn on it or something. But it looks like it's more or less a decent concrete pad. Side of this brush. And a sift through here and see if I find any treasures. Any cedars. Originally this entire thing was going to be a mulching job, But with all that trash we found over in the first part, it turned into a clearing job. And with not being able to burn, I think it's going to turn into a clearing slash mulching job. There's a tire. This is to go down. He told me to knock that over and set it aside. And I need to watch out because I got power lines overhead right now.